TikTok stars make more money than CEOs. Charli D'Amelio, the 17-year-old who started working less than 3 years ago, made $17.5 million last year. That's more earnings than the average CEO of S&P 500 companies. Sorry, Darren, Kevin, Ed, and Chris. You spent all your time climbing the corporate ladder. Maybe you should have learned how to dance.
What you doing? What you doing? Where you at? Where you at?
Yeah, what a story. I was fascinated by it. Let's also be super clear that these are a few people, very few people who are what this article is talking about. It's still better off, you're better off being a CEO of a big company. But the couple of things that jump out at you, the very top increased their earnings by 200% from the last survey that Forbes did. And so many of them have really compelling, interesting stories that they were basically didn't even have a TikTok account 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and now look at where they are. So that's fascinating.
Charli plus 6 others made about $56 million last year. And so, there are millions of other people creating a lot of TikTok account making zero there. But it does show that handful of these influencers and creators can really build a real business for themselves. By the way, one note is they are making more in salary than the CEOs, but the CEOs do have a lot of stock options. So in terms of net, how much they're worth, I would still take the CEOs and their multi-billion-dollar corporations over these creators. At the same time, these creators are getting endorsements. They're getting TV deals. There's another TikTok creator named Addison who starred in a Netflix movie this year. And I think as brands quickly realize that consumers now jump to whatever the influencers are recommending. We just discussed the Kim Kardashian topic. There's an opportunity for major brands to connect with these influencers that have really broken out, and these influencers hopefully are able to then leverage their value. And so I think it's a positive thing that this creator economy, at least for now, has created a handful of stars and shown that you can do pretty well betting on yourself and your skill set.
I think it's a important point that you just made, that the economy that the creators have made for themselves, like they're in charge. Most of them, unfortunately, won't make it, but the ones that do is fascinating. I was in the Meadowlands at the Jets game the other day with MetLife Stadium. There's something called a green room, which is where the celebrities hang out, and somehow I was snuck in there. And there were actors and actresses and sports figures of all kinds, but the person that a lot of people keyed in on was somebody whose job I didn't know this was a person who would do this. She's an influencer on Peloton. That's where she's the influencer. And that doesn't mean that everybody there had a Peloton, but apparently, and I didn't know this, Peloton has like an app that people can download even if you don't have the bike or the treadmill. And she's so good at this that everybody wanted her photograph. And I couldn't sense that some of the TV people and the reality folks are like, hey, what about me? Because that was the first time I had seen that. And I was struck by, this is where people, if you're good at what you do, if you engage with the audience and people give you attention, then advertisers and others will also come and follow that attention.
There was a time 60 years ago when if you went to an elementary school in America and you asked kids what they want to be when they grow up, they would say astronaut, right? That was the height of the Gemini Apollo programs. You're going to the moon. If you went, and I've done this, asked a group of first graders, second graders, middle schoolers what they want to be now, the majority will tell you they want to be a YouTuber. They look up to these people. These are the people, the personalities that they follow. And so whether it's YouTuber, TikTok, Peloton, etc., there's a completely new group of people that the next generation connects with, is entertained by, is educated by. And, the rest of us have come around to this fact that this is a new reality that a lot of young people have created.
I will just add two quick thoughts. One is that India has banned TikTok. That means 150 million accounts just disappeared about 2 years ago in the last few months or so. Imagine if they come back and what that will do. Or imagine what India is building instead of TikTok. Where do all those people go? A lot of them went to IG Reels, right? So that's one thing. The other is that I myself, as Mosh said, have come around to this. There was this in-between period where there was the blogs and then there was kind of reality television as being the reason people were famous. And there's a line that somebody said, there was a time when people were famous for being special. Now they're special for being famous. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the people like the folks Moshe described are doing interesting things, compelling content, entertaining, teaching, communicating, sharing, that there's real value there. They're not just famous for being famous. They're famous for doing something cool in this box.
And TikTok gets that foot in the door. You don't have to be like Kylie Jenner, who's the most highest paid influencer in that survey, $590 million she made in 2020. But she grew up in a reality show family. You know, this is kind of a new place where people can actually rise.
And we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but TikTok is unique in creating a platform for people to come out of nowhere. Whereas if you look at the top 10 most followed individuals on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, you recognize these people. You know, Obama is a top 10 on Twitter. The Kardashians take up half of the top 10 on Instagram. These are all. It was basically a opportunity for them to boost their profile on social media. TikTok, if you look at the top 10 on TikTok, a number of them are people you've never heard of before, and it's partially because it's a new platform. It's partially because it's a new platform that younger folks were able to figure out. But it has democratized so far the opportunity to become famous based on, you know, whatever you bring to that platform.